members of MWEG. We're so glad that you are joining us today, and we are glad to be joined by Meredith Gardner, who is our Director of Media Literacy, and she's going to continue what we call our media literacy series here on the Grows. And we're going to talk about, is it real or is it AI? Now, if you've ever taken one of those quizzes, I took one that came up in the New York Times. It was like a quiz to see if, it was like 10 questions to see if you could spot the AI. And I was a 50-50, so it's trickier than I think some of us might think. And I would encourage anybody to go find one of those and see how you do. But I'm going to let Meredith talk to us about it and give us some tips and tools of how we can spot AI in our media as we're reading. So I'm going to turn the time over to Meredith.
Awesome, thanks. I'm so excited to be on with you guys today and to talk about this. I know that there's a lot of concerns and fears around AI, and I don't want to minimize that because there's a lot of concerning things happening with AI right now. Um, but I just noticed that whenever I'm online, I see people comment on, posts on social media. Is this real or is this AI? And so I think it's important for us to talk about how AI has been developing and ways we can try to tell if something's real or AI at a time when it's becoming increasingly more difficult. So I always like to start out talking about how this relates to MWIG. And in MWIG, we're a principles-based organization. We're nonpartisan. And so the way that we're guided in our work is through principles, what we call the principles of ethical government. And those can be found on our website. But the one that most relates directly to what we're talking about today is this principle of ethical government 3A, which deals with our responsibilities as citizens. And it says that all individuals have a duty to educate themselves about the actions of government officials and current events in the world, taking care to ascertain facts from reliable sources of information. I apologize for my typos there, but it's really important for us to do all that we can to find accurate sources of information and try to find out what the truth is. What are the facts? Because that's how we make good decisions. And so that just brings up the question, how can we ascertain facts from reliable sources if we can't tell what's real? And it's going to become a huge and ever-growing problem that we're going to need to address in the coming years of knowing how we can tell what's real from what's false. And I have a lot of confidence, honestly, in people's ability to tell what's real as long as they're really intentional about their skills and what they're looking for. And, you know, as long as they're knowledgeable that there are a lot of things out there that aren't real, I really believe that we can still navigate this landscape. I'm optimistic. So I kind of want to start from that positive place. So today we're going to go through, we're going to talk about two main things. We're going to talk about the evolution of AI, where it's at right now, and then we're going to talk about what you can do as you try to figure out what's real and what's not. And we're going to kind of try discerning what's real and what's not together. So we'll get to do some little um, an application of this all together, and it's going to be great. So first, I wanted to talk about AI's evolution and kind of show you where AI is at. So I would love to know if you would like to comment or share. This comes from a really great article from Britannica Education, and they have like a little quiz on which one's real. But one of these is real and one of these is not. And I want to tell you, fun fact, I showed this presentation to my 12-year-old daughter and my 9-year-old son last night. And very interestingly, they almost always know which one's AI. And for me, it's much harder. So maybe the kids are going to be okay. And maybe it's just us older folks who need the training. But I would love to know, like, right or left, which one people think is real. Any guesses? I can't see the comments. So if there's any comments, you got to let me know, Rachel. I don't want to mess with my screen too much. because I have it working.
Don't see any comments. Camille
Okay.
says left, and
Okay.
Hope says right. Another
Okay.
vote for left.
Okay.
I'm so bad at this that I think it's right. So don't go opposite of what I say.
Okay. It's actually
Uh,
the one that's on the right. So
oh,
the one that has the like less circular markings on the right is the one that's real. So applause to you who guessed correctly. I have another one. I think this next one's harder, but you might disagree with me. Um, which one of these cityscapes is real versus which one do you think is fake? This was tough. I don't know. I honestly guessed on this one. They have all kinds of these online. Left, left, left. All of you saying left. Okay, you got it. I thought this was hard. You guys know it's the one on the left. So, but you can see that if you don't have anything to compare it to, like if you were only looking at the right image and there wasn't like this question of which one is real, you would probably believe that one is real, right? And so the development of AI is just leaps and bounds. There used to be really clear tells of um whether an image was AI, in the fingers, AI doesn't do hands well, in the eyes or the teeth. And AI still sometimes has problems with those things, but it's gotten a lot better with the details. And so it's becoming more and more difficult to tell what's real. Um, and then I hope this works. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. I hope you can. If you can't, that's okay. We're just going to watch 15 seconds of this video maybe. So recently, OpenAI, a company that develops AI, released its Sora 2 app. And the reason why this is such a big deal is because it really makes available to the public very realistic looking video capabilities. So what Sora 2 is an app, it's an app that you have to be invited to as of last I checked. You still had to have like an invitation to join from somebody who's already on it. And its platform essentially looks like TikTok. It's almost identical to TikTok, except every video on it is AI generated. And you use Sora to create 10 to 20-second video clips that are made from text prompts. So you would say, create a video that looks like it's from the 1950s of a man coming home from the office, and it would do that for you. You can also scan in your likeness or the likeness of someone else, and it will put you in the video. So this video from Sora is going to show you some of those capabilities. It features Sam Altman, who runs OpenAI, and it's entirely made from AI. So this kind of gives you a little picture of like what Sora can do, and then we'll talk about another platform. Can you hear that, Rachel? Okay.
1 year ago, Sora 1 redefined what was possible with moving images. Today, we're announcing the Sora app, powered by the all-new Sora 2. It's the most powerful imagination engine ever built. And it's packed with new features. I'll pass it to Bill for more details.
Okay, so I don't want to spend too much time on this video, but you can see that this AI generation has a ton of capabilities for making what we would call deepfake videos. Videos that aren't real, they're totally artificially generated. And the unique thing about Sora also is that you can input your voice into it. And so this entire video, the audio and everything was AI generated. So it can copy your voice and create audio from it. And you might have seen some videos of popular figures. When Sora 2 came out, I saw a bunch of videos of like Michael Jackson and all kinds of other public figures who have passed away doing and saying things that they never actually did or said. but you can do that with OpenAI, and it's raised a lot of legal questions, and that's a whole other presentation. But that has really powerful capabilities. There's another one that's really popular right now called VO, and this is created by Google. So this is a short video, um, but it's very similar to Sora. I'll just play this one really quickly. Okay. Yeah. So that's VO. That's very comparable. It's housed on Gemini, which is their AI platform. And so we have all these platforms that are coming out with these deepfake video creators. So it's just it's coming very cheap and very easy for anybody to create fake videos, which um, I don't want to make you panic with that. I know when I first saw um, deep fake video development even 18 months ago, which is it's become much more advanced now. I remember feeling extremely panicked over it. Um, I think there is a lot of reason, like I said before, to be concerned, but I also think there are still things that you can do to understand whether something is true or not. And those are all the slow methods that involve using our critical thinking skills and our good media literacy skills that we've talked about for a really long time. Um, those are all what's going to help you continue to decide to see what's true and what's not true. It's really like not a reinvention of the wheel. I wouldn't encourage people to try to discern, um, to try to tell by looking at the video or the photo or the audio if it's real or not, because it's going to become harder and harder to tell that. But there are still things that you can do. So we're going to talk about those things. The first thing you want to do with any kind of content you run up against that you're like, wait, is this real? Which people are asking, like I said, all the time now. Every day I see comments in threads or on X or Instagram of people saying, is this a real video? Is this real content? And so, I think it's good to ask questions. I think questions are important. And so these are some great ones to start with. And we're going to go through this with a post I came across. You want to ask where the content is coming from. Like who came up with this? If you can tell, sometimes it's harder to tell. Does the image include a watermark? A lot of times on content made by Sora or VO, there will be a watermark, and I'll show you what those look like. Um, but it's important to know that watermarks can be removed. There are actually special apps that you can run your video through and it will remove the watermark. So, like the absence of a watermark definitely doesn't mean something's real, but the presence of a watermark can, like, obviously is a really quick way of telling something's not real. And then you want to just really slow down and ask yourself, what is the purpose of this? What message is it trying to convey to me? What is it trying to make me feel? This is the same of any media we run across as we try to discern if it's good information or bad information. And then we want to ask if the source is trustworthy. Is this like a random account? Is this a media account that's been around for a long time, something like Associated Press or New York Times? So my invitation is just to slow down and use those critical thinking skills. So we're going to try it. I found this video. So this is just a screen grab from my phone. I found this video from just my Threads account, and it's related to Hurricane Melissa, which you may have heard was just really devastating um, for people in Jamaica and other surrounding areas. And there was a lot of video misinformation, especially that went around surrounding Hurricane Melissa. So this is the video that I found. Okay, it says footage from the eye of a Category 5 hurricane. And you can see already underneath in the comments, the first comments are asking, what's the source of this? Because like I have never heard of an airplane being able to fly into a hurricane. I don't know about you all, but I have never heard of that. So we're going to go through those questions that I listed, go through the steps and ask, first of all, who made this? Like we can't really tell who made this. She doesn't ever respond that I could see in the comments about where the footage came from. So that was automatically like a red flag to me, is like this video looks incredible. Um, and there's no way of knowing where it came from. Does the image include a watermark? So Sora's watermark, I screen grabbed those from you. So Sora's watermark has this like little puffy cloud guy who blinks and it kind of floats around the video. And this video doesn't have the Sora watermark on it. The VO watermark is actually really hard to see, and I don't know why. Maybe they must have done this on purpose, but it's usually in the right-hand corner of a video, and it just says VO on the bottom. And this video didn't have that either. So there's no watermark, but like we said before, that doesn't mean it's not AI generated because the watermarks can be removed. So what is the purpose of this video? This video was like just super awe-inspiring for me. It made me feel like just so impressed with the incredible view of nature if it was real. So I think honestly, it's just kind of like entertaining and awe-inspiring are the emotions that are brought up for me. And is the source trustworthy was the next question. So this post came from a random person I do not know on my feed who loves Joe Biden and says they were a 9/11 first responder. So they're not like a legacy media outlet. This wasn't posted by AP News or anything like that. So I was still suspicious. So in those cases where you're not sure, like you can run through this pretty quickly. You can do one of two things. You can either, well, I guess there's more than two options even. You could share it knowing that it might not be real. I wouldn't recommend that personally, just because we're always trying to cut down on the amount of misinformation. Um, you could just think, oh, that's cool, and move on and not share it at all. Or you could spend just another minute looking a little bit more into this. It's super quick to do a little bit more deep diving. So what I did to find out if it was real is I just looked elsewhere in my feed. I scrolled in my feed, the video came up again, and it came up under AccuWeather. And I was like, oh wow, AccuWeather posted this. That tells me it's probably actually real. This says Air Force hurricane hunters flew through the Category 5 hurricane, capturing a view from inside the storm's powerful eye. I was automatically like, I probably could have stopped there, honestly. And I would have been confident that this was an actually real video and I can watch in awe of nature and that is all totally legitimate. You can also ask Google if nothing's coming up on your feed. I just Googled, did a plane fly into the eye of Hurricane Melissa? And it brought up these Google results, and one of them was this ABC News report, and it included the video. And so, yeah, apparently the U.S. Air Force has a reconnaissance squadron, and they did fly into the eye of the hurricane. So that's another option. I wanted to show you a third option, which is a reverse image search. So you might wonder, like, how can I do a reverse image search of a video? So what I did was I just took a screenshot of the video and I plugged it into reverse image search. This sounds complicated, but I promise you it's simple and I would invite you to try it if you've never done it before. So you go into Google, just google.com, and there's this little lens icon in the search bar you can see on the left side of my screen. You click on that and it will prompt you to upload a video or a photo. And so I uploaded this screenshot photo of this of the hurricane. I believe it was, let me try to go back. I believe it was this one, this photo. So I just uploaded that onto Google, and luckily Google knew exactly what I was looking for because it brought up, just putting in that photo brought up all of this. It says, it told me on the AI overview, which I will warn you, the AI overview is not reliable, and I would not use that as your only source of information in a Google search. It does not do well with current events. In this case, it did do well. But it says the image captures a view from a Hurricane Hunter aircraft in likely Hurricane Melissa. But then it also gives me, oh, I'm sorry, this is acting up on me. Then it also gives me links to news stories that also showed this photo. And so that's what I needed to confirm that this was a legitimate video. So that's one way you can go through it. I will tell you, there's been times that I've looked through reels and stuff on social media and been totally fooled. I don't know if you all are familiar. There was a reel that went around that was of rabbits jumping on a trampoline, and it went viral. It was a cool, like, fun-looking video of all these bunnies jumping on a trampoline. It was totally AI. There was another one recently that was people who were living in a retirement home who were supposedly all dressed up as different Halloween costumes. And it was so cute and heartwarming, and I thought it was real, and I think I shared it, and it totally was not real. So it's very easy to get fooled, and in those cases, um, maybe it's not such a big deal that it wasn't real because it's not like a life or death situation. But it is important in things like news stories to know whether something's real before we share it. And that's when we definitely encourage you to slow down and think about how you feel about the story, what it's trying to communicate with to you, who made it, and then do a little bit extra checking around whether it's real or not, and use the internet's tools to your advantage. Um, yeah, so I said, when in doubt, don't share. That's really my rule. Like I said, I didn't go through this hurricane video and analyze like if there were any parts that seemed AI, because like I said, it's harder and harder to tell anymore. I do think that that can be um not a great use of our time at this point. Um there are other ways we can figure out whether something's real. But when in doubt, don't share it. And I just want you guys to have confidence, because I truly have confidence in this, that the truth is still out there. And one of the goals of people who spread misinformation is to make us give up trying to find truth. But the truth is still out there. We can still find it. I'm really confident in that. And you have critical thinking skills and you can find it. I really, truly believe that. So I hope you found this helpful. I hope that this gives you some concrete things to do when you're on Facebook or Instagram, or where or somebody sends you something or shows you something and you're like, huh, I'm not sure if that's real or not. I hope you have some more confidence now of what you can actually do to figure that out. But I'll be happy to take any questions if there are any.
No questions?
Oh,
So
I'm just seeing the comments that people fell for the bunnies too.
I
Yeah.
was just gonna say, I saw that and I thought, oh, it's so cute. And then I had to say to myself, how did those bunnies get up there? They couldn't
Uh-huh.
jump those 3 feet up onto, that's the only way. And then I watched it a lot of times and I felt the same way. And then something in my brain clicked, like, look at this with a realistic critical eye. And then I was
Yeah.
like, either somebody had to put all those bunnies on the trampoline and then video them being really funny, but it's still cute.
Oh,
Hope,
somebody
did you
has a
want to say
question.
something?
Awesome.
Do you have a question?
I just think it's kind of important to realize a lot of this is because in the general political scheme of things right now, there's so much misinformation. And again, we're just flooded with it. And after a while so you do kind of it doesn't matter anymore. You just kind of accept it. I think that's one reason it's so important to be critical about AI. Because again, it's so nice. Oh, this is so cute. This is so nice. Let's pass it on. When if it isn't real, we shouldn't be.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I think it's important for us to be super conscious of what we're sharing and why we're sharing it and whether it's real. Um, yeah, because it's a flood. Things go viral so fast. And some of it right now with AI is just because it's AI, it goes viral and people are like, "Oh wow, look what this can do." But sometimes it's much more flies under the radar. It's a lot harder to discern. And like for me, I have 5 kids and sometimes they like to watch like reels with me. They love funny cat reels or funny dog reels. And a lot of them anymore are AI generated. And that's discouraging because like I don't know, there's something much more wholesome to me and rewarding with seeing real things than seeing generated ones. But yeah, I love your comment. Thank you so much. Anybody else?
Well, so anyway, thank you again to Meredith for today's grow. And like I said, it'll be recorded and we'll put it there. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us.